Hello, DC Metro Real Producers. This is Kristen Brindley, your publisher, and I'm here with the wonderful Richard Early. Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome, Kristen.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure to be here with this guy. So he is a valued partner of Real Producers, and he's in both, and he was just spotlighted in DC Metro Real Producers. He's also in the Nova Real Producers one coming up too. So valued partner, check out his article. And he has 40 years of experience in mortgage banking and also has done $1.5 billion in business. So any questions you have during this, if somebody wants to shout out any questions, feel free to do so because this man has great experience and does a lot of business. So Richard, did you always think that you would be in mortgage banking?
No, not even close. I went to school and became an architect, which architecture is a process of putting a puzzle together. You've got something that you've got to design, build, and make it fun and make everybody happy with it. Mortgages I kind of parlayed right into the mortgage side because it's basically putting puzzles together also. The puzzle piece of the equation is what I'm really good at. Numbers and puzzles. I enjoy that a lot.
So, well, it seems like a perfect fit for you.
It was a perfect match.
So can you tell us a little bit of the story? Like, how did that come about? How did you find mortgage banking? And how did you get your first clients? And have this illustrious career of this length of time?
I started out, I met a woman whose husband was in the banking business, and he said that I would be good at this. My kids make a joke about it and said that if I'm in an elevator and we're going 2 floors, by the time I get out, I know everybody's name. He said I'd be good at mortgages, and here I am 40 years later, still doing them, still loving it, having a really good time, having fun doing them. So that's how it evolved.
So you're very good in person and referral-wise, so it sounds like, how did you progress to become, you do a lot of business, so what is it that tipped the scales for you to make you go from just starting to doing really well and doing even better and continuing on the line? What was it?
Well, I have really good follow-up. And you can attest to that.
Yes, you do. I was in his CRM. I love it. It was great. Anyway.
You were in my CRM from 20 years ago. Maybe it's not quite that long.
Not 20, but it's about 10 years ago.
Yes.
I was literally, yeah.
Follow-up is really the communication with everybody is really what it's all about, and following and making sure that I'm in touch with the folks that have helped me get to this point. So that's what's catapulted me to the level I'm at.
So referrals, word of mouth. Do you do advertising of any sort?
No, actually I don't do any advertising. The only advertising I do is in your magazine. And the reason I do the advertising in your magazine because it is a collective of very professional people that are doing well in their profession. You learn something new every time I go to one of the events. You got your mastermind program coming up here soon, and that's something that I will be attending as well. But I always learn something every single time I go to one of the events, share ideas, and that's what these events are all about, is the sharing of ideas. So the advertising I do is only in yours. Everything else I do is either referrals from borrowers or real estate agents, financial planners, accountants. That's my referral base. That's my advertising.
Absolutely. Thank you, Richard.
You're welcome.
I'm so glad you're in with us. So every business has a secret weapon, something or someone or a habit they attribute a great deal of success to. And what would that be for you?
Communication and follow-up. Those are my 2 secret weapons. I like to make sure that everybody that's involved in this process understands what they're doing, keeping the real estate agents informed, and real estate agents have a hard time getting people to tell them what's going on. That is not one of my downfalls. Communication is what I'm really good at. And the follow-up. I'll put somebody in my CRM and 6 months later or a year later I'll end up calling them, just following up with them, and you'd be absolutely amazed on how many people just go, wow, I didn't expect you to call me back. Birthdays, I like birthdays, those are fun. Everybody always gets some kind of acknowledgement of their birthday when it's their birthday. Sometimes I'm a little early on the birthday, but you know, if I put it in, it goes in a little bit early, that's okay too. Early
That's
birthday.
great. Well, and we've just started doing some like half birthday things, and like if it's different, that's great. So if you show up a little early, I think that's fantastic. So I know you're a real busy guy, like you do a lot of business. What is your day-to-day schedule like?
I usually start around 7:30 in the morning. I go to the gym, get my energy level up, keeps my energy going. This business requires a lot of energy, as all the real estate agents and mortgage guys that are out there recognize. About 9:30 is when I start my business day. I follow up with emails and phone calls that I might have missed from the day before. I try to call everybody back in the same day. If you call at 9 o'clock in the morning, you will get a call back from me the same day. If you call me at 8 o'clock at night, you might get a phone call back by 10. But I will follow up with, if you've called, I will always call you back. Emails, same thing, I will follow up with those. Around 12 o'clock, I end up setting up my follow-up phone calls to people that I've talked to 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 2 days ago, that I would need to actually follow up with some information. I usually finish up my day, if I have an evening appointment, which I do almost every day. I'll meet a client around 7:30, and I usually get home around 10:30, 11 o'clock. So it makes my day pretty full.
That's a full day, yeah.
That is a full day.
You get it done.
Yes.
So what do you think will be different in the next like 1 to 5 years in the real estate industry?
Technology. Technology is taking over pretty much everything. If you don't embrace the technology piece, you're going to fall way behind. As a real estate agent, you have to understand the technology. As a mortgage person, you have to understand the technology, and you have to embrace it. You have to embrace the technology piece, and there are so many tools out there you can use these days. The CRM process that you can set up to where you can actually follow up. We have a CRM program that we actually partner with the real estate agents, where we reach out and touch them over a 5-year period of time, 37 times. And it's actually a set it and forget it type thing with that part of the CRM. The technology is it. I can't think of anything else that would make it any different or any better.
I think that's quite true. So what is one inside tip you can give realtors to help with using your business, like with working with mortgage bankers?
Any mortgage banker, not just our business, but ask questions. I tell all the borrowers that I work with, I tell them the 3 things that they want to pay attention to and actually do to protect themselves in the transaction is ask questions. That's the first thing. Second thing is ask questions. And the third thing is ask more questions. The more questions you ask, the better you're going to protect yourself and start to understand the process. A lot of people like to just track what's going on online. They'll read something. It could have been published 15 years ago and it doesn't have any meaning anymore. The asking questions to the people you're dealing with is really important. The real estate agent should be asking the lender credit, assets, and income. If it's an income, if it's a buyer who has either rental properties or is self-employed, they need to make sure that they're asking, did you get the tax returns? A lot of the online companies will never ask for that stuff. All they do is they just, whatever the borrower writes in on the application, that's what they take. That's not good. You want to make sure that whoever the lender you're using is collecting information. They should run it through their underwriting, at least their desktop underwriting piece, and have an underwriter at least review it if they have the opportunity to do that. Not all lending institutions will do that. We do. So that's the best tips I can give.
So Richard, do you collect anything fun or have any fun things you can tell us about yourself?
Yes, I am a crazy Disney collector. I collect a lot of Disney stuff. Watches, I have 287 Disney watches. My whole office is done in Disney. My Harley is painted Disney.
You've heard it from DC Metro Real Producers.